Today on YouTube, we're talking about what happens when people approach your business saying your rates are too expensive and that they want to have a better deal. Let's talk about why you don't need to do that and what you can do instead. Let's jump right into it. If you're new here, my name is Liz. I help business owners use digital marketing to grow their business quickly. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you never miss any of my content. Now, having people come up to me and say, your rates are too expensive, can we work out a better deal, is something that I have been dealing with since the beginning of time. In fact, I own another service-based business, and it is rampant in that industry for clients to try to cut a better deal. In the beginning, when I was first in my business building stages, I would always just bend to all of their requests and say, yeah, sure. Oh my gosh, you're totally right. Let me give you something more affordable. But that type of response and that behavior can keep a business owner stuck for years. If you are constantly bending to other people's negotiation skills and slashing your prices to meet their requests, then not only can you not build your business quickly, but word will quickly get around that you do that, and then everyone will expect the same. Not only that, but you are in business to have a business. It's not meant to be a charity. So there's a lot of mindset work that has to go around this, but there are some very tactical strategies that you can take as well. If you feel like you have priced your offer fairly and you've done market research and competitor research, and you know that you've positioned yourself in your market in a way that really reflects your skills and the result and the value that you give to your audience, then you are absolutely entitled to stick with your price, my friend. You don't have to be lowering it for everyone who comes along asking for a deal or a bargain. So today we're going to talk about how exactly you can respond back to these people and what you can do to stick with your price and move your business forward. Let's jump right into it. Now, depending on the type of business, the first thing that you can say to someone who comes with this bargain hunting mentality is to ask them, what is the price of their inaction? Make sure that that person is willing to be accountable for what they would lose in life or how much they are going to be held back by not taking action on this thing. So in that conversation, you're not trying to compare yourself to anyone else in your industry. Instead, you are forcing them to be accountable to you and to them. Because if someone comes and says that they want a better price from you, then they also have to bring something to the table, right? Because frankly, why should you give them a better price? They also need to have a serious conversation with themselves about what would happen to them and their progress if they decided just to walk away from your business because they found it too expensive. So do a quick calculation with them, and of course be empathetic and compassionate through this entire process, because it's very likely that the person in front of you has never thought about the price of inaction. Spend some time working through with them the actual dollar values associated with not taking action right now, with delaying and trying to investigate and find another business other than yours just because they want to save a few dollars. Think about how much they are losing within their industry. Think about how much further they would be if you could just get them started today. Try to do that calculation with them and present it to them and ask them if that price of what they are going to be losing by not going ahead with you is actually worth more to them than what your fees are, and you might be surprised that they will change their mind quickly. The other thing that you can do is ask the person sitting in front of you if you are expensive compared to what. This is again something that many people have not thought about. Usually when people come to you and say that you are too expensive, they are trying to compare you to someone else in your industry who they have probably found to be cheaper. Now, you can only have this conversation with them if you have done competitor research. You need to be 100% sure that your prices reflect the service that you are offering and the value that you offer in comparison to your competitors. That means you need to know that you offer more value to them, that you can get the thing done faster, better, you provide an overall better service, all of those things. If you don't have that confidence, then you're going to be in trouble, my friend. You're going to be having to play this back and forth game with someone who has done research on your competitors and who is very clear that some of them might offer something better for a lower price, in which case, again, you're going to be stuck with an appropriate response. But instead of that, you need to be clear on what is different about your business compared to your competitors. That way, you can very legitimately say to the person in front of you that your business is not actually in comparison to anyone's. You are serving different markets. That competitor over here is doing things with this timeline and with this pricing, and these are the people that they serve, and this is what their expertise is. Whereas yours is all of these things. Now, for example, With my event management company that I own, I have over 25 years of experience with event management. So I don't even bother trying to compare myself to people who think they are my competitors who have 1 and 2 years of business. And I say this to my clients because things always go wrong in events. There's no event that has ever run off picture perfect. There's always at least 1 or 2 things that fall apart. So the way to be able to pull off a seamless event is to hire somebody who actually has experience solving all these problems. Somebody who has 25 years of experience solving problems is way better positioned to manage that type of a service than someone who is newer to the market. So this is basically the specialty that I bring. People tell me all the time that I'm too expensive, but what I tell them is, considering the number of problems that I can solve you, how fast I can get things done, the number of resources that I have available to me with my 2+ decades of experience, that is going to be way cheaper for you, my friend. If things fall apart for you along this process, if you go with a competitor who's highly less experienced than me, then it's going to cost you more in the end. You'll have to be paying to solve problems. You'll be paying to expedite things that are moving along too slowly because the person that you hire doesn't have experience. And it's all going to end up putting you in the red in the end. So this is the very, very frank conversation I have with people all the time. And that's because I know my market. I know the value that I bring. So you need to know how you are different from your competitors. What is your special sauce? What is that one thing that you know that you can blow your competitors out of the water for? Focus on that. Focus on the dollar value of that and what it would cost that client if they didn't focus on that. And this again is going to be a no-brainer decision for them. Now, another thing to do is switch out of the languaging that the person in front of you is probably using. When someone comes ready to bargain or to negotiate and get a better rate, they are using words like cost, price, fees. Those are the words that they're using. The words that you want to use are investment, value, worth, savings. These are the things that you want to position in front of that person. Remind them that an X dollar value of a product is actually an investment. When you are paying that much for something, it is because you are expecting something really good in return, and that's what they're going to get. On the other hand, when they are busy counting pennies and looking at the cost of something, then it becomes just a costing game. And, a successful business is not really there to play the costing game. They're there to provide the best that they can for the client. So the client has to decide, are they there because they want the best or because they want to save $5 here and there? So in the entire conversation that you're having, try to switch over that language. Get them out of this habit of using words like cost and dollars and all of that type of thing, and get them thinking a little bit bigger. Get them thinking about what is the cost of the inaction that they are taking? What is the value of the thing that you are going to give them? This forces them really to sit back and ask themselves, what is the value of this thing that I want to get? Maybe this person does provide the value, and maybe that's more important to me than the actual cost of it. Another thing you can do is position yourself as the premium option. And this is typically best done if you can also give a little bit of the background. For example, when I first started my business, my rates were low, and they were low because I knew that I was new to the business. So people were taking a risk by hiring me because it's not like I had a lot of credibility. I was somewhat new to it. So just to balance that is why my rates were low. My first 10 clients or so were mainly so that I could learn about the industry and make sure that I really hone my service and my skills really well. And in return for that, I was offering a lower rate. As soon as I knew that I was clear on what I was doing, I started increasing my rates right away. So you can go ahead and explain to your clients the fact that you have been honing your skills for some time, and now you have enough credibility within your industry that you don't really need to undercut your services anymore at all. You are in a position to be charging more, and they obviously know it, which is why they're in front of you in the first place. Let them know that in the past you may have charged less, and that's mainly because the clients were not expecting that much either. So you were charging according to what their expectation was. Now clients are expecting more. And if that person in front of you is expecting more, then a premium pricing is appropriate for that. Now, when you say this to them, that person in front of you is going to shrivel a little bit because now they either have to admit out loud that they're a client that is not expecting much, or they have to admit that they are a client who is expecting a lot, in which case it's common sense that they would pay more, right? Now, if everything else fails and your mind goes completely blank and you can't think of anything to say to this person in front of you, then there's one foolproof trick that I use once in a while too. Sometimes you will get someone in front of you who is really ready to haggle and to negotiate and get the best possible dollar value from you. That is going to happen at some point. But I want you to do a little bit of mindset work and think about why that is. Consider to yourself that if they are that skilled at that type of negotiation, they have probably done their homework. Before they ended up speaking to you, they've probably researched your competitors, they've understood what other people are charging in your industry, and yet they still came to you, my friend. There are people that are affordable out there that they could have gone to, people who are in the price range that they are claiming that they want, and still, they came to you knowing that you were more expensive. That means they know that you offer the superior product. They want your product at someone else's prices. So the reason I'm saying this for you is because I want you to frame that in your mind and understand that is the angle that they are coming at you from. If they could get such a great product from one of the more affordable options, then why in the world didn't they go there? They didn't go there because they know they're going to get something better from you. So if everything else fails and your mind goes blank, remember, they are in front of you because they are hoping that you will offer someone else's price to them, but give them something better. So a line that I often give people when I'm in this situation is I tell them, I can offer you a $1,000 service, but then I will be giving you a $1,000 effort. So if you want that, I might have a lower priced option for you. It's not going to be my $2,000 offer. However, if you want a $2,000 level of effort from me, you're not going to get that for $1,000. When you say that to them point blank, it's not being aggressive in any way because they get it. They will read between the lines and they will understand how inappropriate it is for them to sit in front of you and ask you for a $2,000 effort while they only intend to pay $1,000 or whatever the case is. Things will click into them right away and that conversation is not going to go further. I guarantee you that. Because no matter what it is in the end, as much as they want to save their price, they all know that business owners are in business to be in business. It's not a charitable organization that we're running here as a business owner. So they know that in the end, we cannot undercut ourselves to the point that it becomes unfair. And most people won't even have the integrity to really bargain and hassle like that. Now, once you deliver a line to them like that, they will almost shrivel a little bit inside because they will know what a ridiculous request it is that they are making to you. They will feel like you have completely called them out for wanting to squeeze everything out of you and your wonderful business without them opening their wallet up a little bit more. So this is when that conversation is always going to change. So I encourage you to employ this method because right there, you have set the boundary and that person knows that you are now going to give them the best effort possible, which is what they expected from you, which is why they're in your office in the first place, and that they are going to have to pay for it because that's just the way that business works, my friend. So if you liked this video, I hope that you will give it a like, share it off with one of your friends. Don't forget to subscribe because every single Tuesday, I bring you a new video teaching you how you can build your business faster using digital marketing. So until next time, take care.